I do want to play a game with everybody listening right now. See if you can figure out this riddle. We went to a movie, and there was these people sitting next to us. It was a group of guys, and they had their tickets, and they were seated. They had drinks and everything. This other couple comes up, and they're like, "Hey, you're in our seats." And they're like, "Well, let's figure this thing out." They both pull out their phones, and they both say, "No, these are our seats. We have D5 and 6. We have D5 and 6.
The group of guys had 4 through 6, and then this couple is claiming they had 5 and 6.
So what do you think happened here as the listener? What was the issue here? Who was in the right and who was in the wrong? It turns out, initially I would think, this has happened to us before. And what happened? They had the wrong theater. So that's what I thought initially. Like they were supposed to be at a different Regal. In this case,
I figured it out.
Yes. In this case, same theater. They looked at the ticket again. Oh, this is the theater. We're at the same one. Okay. Then I thought maybe they have the wrong time. We were at a 7:25 showing. Maybe they had picked a different time and got there at the wrong time. Not the case. Same time on the ticket, 7:25, same seats, same theater.
And by theater, you mean like the specific Regal, not the auditorium Regal screen.
Yeah, that was the next thing. Could it be a different screen? Nope. Screen 16. We're here at the same time. What do you think was the issue here? What do you think happened? Oh, it'd be so good at Final Jeopardy. Actually, no, that's the hardest one. I'd be terrible at it.
Can I say?
And the answer is, Kelsey, what happened?
They bought tickets for the wrong day.
The wrong day. Because it was blowing my mind, too.
I figured it out quick.
We're like, right? Same seat, same time. I thought it had to be they went to the wrong Regal, which is, I've seen that happen before. Like, oh, I'm at the one across town.
I got out the Regal app, and I was, like, pretending.
That's what I did, too. We
get tickets, and I was like, okay, next day. And I was like, ooh, seats 5 and 6 taken for tomorrow.
They got the wrong date.
So then there was an awkward thing where they walked out. They were going to go, like, check with someone, and then the guy that had the seats was also walking out. And the girl turns around, and she was like, oh, I didn't mean you had to come with us. And the guy was like, I'm not. I'm going to the bathroom. So then they later came back in, and they had to sit in seats in the second row because they definitely were there for the wrong day.
Their necks definitely hurt by the end of the night.
Yeah, because they were like...
That was during Gladiator, though. Another thing happened. This isn't a game. But during Moana, well, first of all, when we got in there, the lights were bright. They didn't turn down the main lights, which it just felt like we were in like a big auditorium with a lot of families, and I felt very exposed. It's weird the level of comfort the darkness brings in a movie theater.
I also don't want to see how old those seats are.
Yeah,
I love to live in obliviousness. It's like seeing an airplane.
It was like pulling back the curtain. And initially I thought, I was like, oh no, I sure hope they turn on the lights by the time you get here because he's going to be mortified at these seats.
They did not.
But they did not. The movie was about to start. I could
all
tell.
The little kids are like, why are the lights on?
And I could tell we were in a theater where maybe families don't come as often as we do. I don't think a lot of people go as often as we do. And I knew the movie was about to start, and the lights should have been down by this point because they're usually down, and then they go down further once the movie starts. So I went to go tell them that the lights were still up. And now I know where the light switch is. So if ever it happens again, I could just go turn them off myself. But then what happened again towards the end of the movie,
the lights just come on in the movie.
They come back on. And like one of the most emotional parts, like, all right, movie's over.
It did kind of ruin the vibe.
It did.
Wait, I see you have another note, too. We need to talk about your other note about
Oh, yeah. I was getting to that one next, but... That was just another thing. If ever the lights come on in the theater, just don't look around. Just immediately get up and go find an employee because you do not want to see the condition of the seats.
You don't. You really don't.
The other issue I had, this was when we went to go see Gladiator. I made the mistake of raw dogging a sweatshirt.
Meaning?
I did not wear a T-shirt underneath because right now we're in winter time.
It's so cold
here. And it's cold. And for the most part, movie theaters are cold.
But they had cranked the heat that night.
But for some reason, this theater was like...
It was hot.
A hot box. It's like they turned off the AC, turned off the fans, and turned on the heater. So I went into it thinking that we were going to be in a nice, cool theater. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just be nice and cozy in my hoodie. I'll put my pockets in there. I'll put my snack in there. And it was so hot, and I didn't have a T-shirt on underneath. So I spent the entire movie sweating.
Yeah, you were having a rough time.
And I was so uncomfortable because before I'd done the opposite of regretting not bringing a sweater, and I've been freezing in movies. I think it's much worse not wearing a shirt underneath and being stuck hot.
Haven't I taught you layer?
Yeah, but
Layer.
I just felt so confident in just not wearing a shirt underneath.
I
So
layer always. Layer on an airplane. Layer, excuse me, layer at a concert. Layer at the movies.
I just like the feeling of just having a sweater on. It just feels more comfortable to me.
It depends on the interior fabric.
It feels like I'm wearing like a blanket just straight on. So a lesson.
At least you didn't wear your Spider-Man blanket. You'd have been real hot.
I'd have died.
Speaking of Spider-Man blanket, you walked out of our bedroom earlier, and we have so my desk is in our living room because someone gets the office in this house.
Tell your version of the story.
So the blanket basket for the living room is next to my desk, and your Spider-Man hoodie had fallen out of it earlier, so I just picked it up and threw it back in. I'm sitting at my desk, typing, working, and you come out and you're like, "Do you wear my Spider-Man hoodie?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Excuse me?"
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, "It's moved." And I said, "That's what you noticed has been moved in this house? That's what you noticed is out of place? It's never the trash by the door that needs to be taken out. It's the Spider-Man hoodie that is off by like a centimeter."
You wore it.
I didn't wear it.
You're wearing it.
I didn't.
You're like, I want to know what this feels like.
No, because you always put your feet in it. I don't want to wear.
It's an all body blanket.
I'm not wearing anything that your feet have touched.
But that is a lesson. Never raw dog a sweatshirt to a movie.
Please stop saying raw dog.
Because you will have a bad time.